Well, once more, you owe me. For letting you sail around on me ship. But that's okay. I'm the kind of gal who can play the long game. Sometime in the future, I'll be in need of your services once more. You can pay me back then. All right, come on. You got a job to do. Lives to save, goals to kill. Better get to it.
Welcome ye to Oriath. Smell that fresh land lubber air. Ain't nothing like the air in Theopolis, full of debauchery and pollution, hidden neath the garb of them holy Templars. Seems the place has changed a fair bit since last I were here. A lot more blood and entrails than what I remember. Well, best Lily and I stay here, where it be safe. You journey on ahead, matey, and see what blimey buggers you get to kill next. Say, you're not in the market for a new cutlass or anything, are you? Recently unlocked the Black Crest's old armory. Found a whole shitload of weaponry down there from another time. If you fancy it, be glad to show you my stock. See if there's anything in there you'd like to pick up.
That would just make life complicated.
It is good to see that you survived, my friend. But then, you have fared far worse. The froth of a violent ocean should be no problem for you. While we have been absent, Oriath has become a necropolis, a swarm of Kitava's wretched servants. The situation looks more dire than I had first anticipated. Before we make our move, we must know what we are dealing with. I send you, Exile, as a scout. As the only scout that would stand a chance moving through the shifting forms of this nightmare. You must discover where Kitava resides. Only then can we issue our final blow.
You there! Exile! In need of your service. Phew. I would thank God for you, my friend, if that weren't too on the nose. I felt for sure that this time it was my turn to depart our world. Kitava's cultists surrounded Lani and I a while back. We split up and I led a distraction so she could make best her escape. Funny, I really should have considered my own plan for evasion once I'd allowed her hers. In any case, it is good to see you again, Exile. Let us talk more in a safer space. I shall meet you back at the docks. Phew. Good to see you made it back. You look at me with suspicious eyes. Yes, I know you have your apprehensions about me, and my new indwelling spirit. But if it helps a little, I feel innocence stirring inside me, awakening with an odd sense of gratitude towards you. It was, after all, your bite that returned him to humility, allowed the scales to drop from his eyes. If you are to go wandering the city in its current state, be careful where you step. Kitava's cultists are constantly on the prowl, actively seeking food for their god. What's worse, the passage to Kitava's feast is blocked off by 2 large black gates. We call them Kitava's horns, and they are utterly impenetrable to the motions of man. There is but one way in which we can reach Kitava and deprive him of his eternal meal. The staff of Avarius lies somewhere amongst the rubble of the Chamber of Innocence, still billowing with holy power. If you were to find it and return it to me, I believe the power in the staff will act as power enough to break through the horned gates.
Now that the Brine King is nothing but crab meat, his sunken domain, the ancient city of Soartha, is ripe for the plundering. My granddaddy once dedicated a good portion of his sailing life trying to hunt down the location of that monolithic city. Then, while he were otherwise indisposed, yours truly tried to follow in his gnarled footsteps, track down the teardrop, a pearl as big as your head, carved with the clues to the city's subaquatic location. I was this close to completing my grandfather's legacy when those damn Templar privateers raided me ship and took off with the teardrop, threw it in their reliquary here in Theopolis. As it were, now's the perfect time to retrieve that dazzling pearl. Think you can nab it for me? I'll make it worth your while. Maybe tick it off the list of things you owe me.
Was a time when the ladies would be begging for a bit of old Whalem. But I ain't felt the warm caress of a woman in a long time, and it wounded me dreadful. During me time on the sea, I heard tale of Queen Exile, and her penchant for using this land as a kind of vault for all her special shinies. One such shiny be her famed love potion, supposed to attract the drinker's ideal mate to their loins, even if that mate be far across the sea. Old Queen Exile kept the liquid in the skull of her favourite lover. Them damn Templars probably got their hands on it by now, and the potion's bizarre container has me thinking they probably went and tossed it into the ossuary along with the rest of the bones they got lying around. Exile, be ye the friend I believe you to be, then find a potion for me so that I can experience true love once more.
Then it is as I feared. Kitava's strength has grown insurmountable in our absence, and his horns now deny us entry to his feeding trough. Evidently, the hungry god has grown picky about what crumbs now travel towards his burgeoning throat. It is this strength that concerns me. I have spoken with our friend Bannon over there, a willful vessel of my misguided brother. I knew eventually we would need to enlist my brother's services, though I had hoped we need not do so this soon. Yet, it seems that we have no other choice. We must invoke my dormant brother, slumbering within Bannon's frame. Kitava's horns are a thing of great corruption, which only Innocence's purity can dispel. Before we proceed, I feel I must confide something in you. Bannon wishes me not to speak of it, as he is willing for the sacrifice. However, I feel you should know. Once we invoke Innocence, once we dredge him up from his cocoon inside the soul of Bannon, the man shall cease to be. Only the god shall remain. Do you understand what I say, Exile? If we take this path, Bannon will die, excruciatingly so, burnt with purity from the inside out. As I said, Bannon is willing to commit his life to this cause. But perhaps you should...
I'm ready, and not before.
You there, a moment of your time.
You found it! Bless your boots, Exile! I feel nothing. Blast it all to the ocean depths! Ruined! All them years sitting around in that damned ossuary, the love's magic fizzled right out of the damn thing. Ah well, can't blame a man for trying. Anyway, here's a little something for your effort.
Exile, you're a giant among men. You got no idea how long I have yearned to have this beauty once more in my hands. The teardrop is surprisingly still in pretty good condition. Not too typical of the baubles them Templars like to steal. We'll stick around a while longer, but once things settle down, my grandfather and I will be setting sail with Sir Arthur firm in our sights.
When I'm ready. And When I'm ready, and not before.
I fear I have not been entirely honest with you, my friend. While it is true that this staff can forge a path for us through Kitava's horns, it has the ability to revitalize innocence into waking fully. And that is where the staff's true power resides. In this act, I will become his host in the fullest sense. And together, he and his brother Sin will be able to ally with you against the forces of darkness. I bid you farewell, Exile, for where my spirit is set to travel, there is no return. Win this battle. Defeat Kitava. Free our people.
I am reborn, a new god in a troubled land.
Brother, you have seen better days, I am sure, but for now you must rouse yourself. We have work to do. If ever you wish to make right the wrongs of your past, help me now, as once I asked you in the early days of mankind. Do this for me, and I shall consider our quarrel to be at its end.
Go, do battle, anointed Exile. Though my brother and I will aid you, I sense the universe conspires for you to be the savior of our world on this day.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Bone and corruption shall not impede the path of purity. battle.
Oops, clumsy me. When I'm ready, and not before. when I'm ready and not before.
This is it. It all comes down to this moment to finally put an end to Kitava. Go, Exile. Together we will save humankind. innocence. You see now, don't you?
Little brother, please forgive me. It's as if I have been dreaming the most horrid nightmare. And now, at last, the haze of sleep lifts from my eyes. My vision is clear. Oh, by the gods, forgive me.
It is as true now as it was when we began. You and I are of the same flesh, cleaved from the same womb. You ask for my forgiveness. I give it to you freely.
But the things I've done, the countless millions I've murdered.
There will be time for all of that later. But for now, your people need you. Oriath needs you.
No, I cannot remain here amongst these ruins, amongst the corpses of my own making. These people, they need you, brother, and your hero, not me.
Then what? Where will you go? What will you do?
Isolation. I shall go south. As far south as one can travel in such a fleshly form. There are things I must think on. A redemption I need plan. If my conscience decides I am worthy of such a gift.
You would seek forgiveness in the ice at the bottom of the world.
I would. Should you let me?
Go. Seek out that which you need. Find who you are. Make pilgrimage. Journey on your path, brother. Only return to us one day.
Thank you, brother.
That would just make life complicated.
Before Kitava tore this city apart, the Templar kept many artifacts hidden deep beneath the city streets. The only surviving remnants of the Templar theocracy are what they hoped to hide forever. I think it's time to pull back the veil. There's an entrance to the Templar laboratory not far from here. My father used to sneak me inside as a child. He never could stand the long work days apart. Come, there's something I think you need to see. Before Kitava tore this city apart, the Templar kept many artifacts hidden deep beneath the city streets. The only surviving remnants of the Templar theocracy are what they hoped to hide forever. I think it's time to pull back the veil. There's an entrance to the Templar laboratory not far from here. My father used to sneak me inside as a child. He never could stand the long work days apart. Come, there's something I think you need to see.
I suspect you're about ready for a flagon of ale. And a pretty wench or swain, whatever it be that's your persuasion. The great Exile of Oriath returns to a Theopolis in chaos and ends the life of a raving cannibal god. Now that's a story worth the songs of many an ancient muse. Well, all I can rightly say is congratulations, my friend. A year ago, I wouldn't have dreamt I'd be someday soon in the company of a killer of gods. My advice, you better get while the getting's good and have yourself a holiday for Oriath or Rayclast or whoever else has need for your unique services once more.
Thank the sea! That bloody sod is gone from our world. Can't tell you how many times I've heard them Karui savages gibbering in fear over that cannibal god. And of course there's this horror to account for as well. I don't think there's a man, woman, or child in the world that won't be praising your name tonight over a glass of their finest grog. Speaking of which, where's a man to go to find a little fire water around these parts?